Welcome to Exiles TV. Glad to have you with us this afternoon. We're coming to you live, by the way, from Bayou Smokehouse, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. If you're in the Baton Rouge area, I know our cable coverage goes all over South Louisiana. When you're in the Baton Rouge area, come by, have lunch or dinner, great barbecue. And if you live here in Baton Rouge, it's a great spot to drop by and have a bite to eat. So we have got a lot of news going on. We have got crime news, of course. We have got this god-awful building collapse in Miami. Have you seen the new footage that was from a surveillance camera at a sports stadium? Yeah, everybody's showing it right now. You can see the whole building come down. There are 51 people unaccounted for. And they have had to suspend search operations within the last hour because of a violent thunderstorm. This is going to get really, really bad. But you know, for us in Louisiana, things like building collapses and national crime bills and things like that, they fall a distant second to when we have news about LSU. We don't. Or if we have news about Britney Spears. Well, Britney Spears told the judge at a dramatic hearing yesterday that she wants to end the conservatorship that has controlled her life and her money for the past 13 years. Her dad, Jamie Spears, has been her conservator, and he got court-awarded conservation because he said that she had an alcohol and drug abuse problem, she had mental illness issues, and she made very, very bad choices, and he was worried people were going to take advantage of her and harm her and basically rob her. She did a 20-minute presentation in which she talked about how she was forced to take lithium, which made her feel like a drunk, how she had to take birth control pills, was prohibited from getting remarried, and unfortunately, Miss Spears got a little agitated and in front of the judge dropped about 24 F-bombs during the course of this conservatorship hearing, which I'm thinking probably didn't go very, very well. She has an estimated fortune of about $50 million, and most of the details of her conservatorship are sealed by the court. The court doesn't want to know about financial arrangements and personal arrangements and things like this. But she can have her visitors restricted by the conservator, her dad. The conservator, her dad, arranges and oversees visits with her 14 and 15-year-old kids. The father, Kevin Federline, still has full custody. Her dad can take out restraining orders in her name and also can make all financial and medical decisions on her behalf. In other words, her dad has control as conservator over every one of her life decisions that are considered to be major. Now, they are subject to annual review in the state of California, but this is the first time in about 8 years that Britney has gone in and said, during our review, I would like you to dissolve the conservatorship. We do not know whether or not it is going to be dissolved. I believe the judge is taking it under advisement. But she revealed that she finds the conservatorship abusive and stupid. She says it does me way more harm than good. And she said she wanted to control her own money and do simple everyday things like ride in a car with her boyfriend. And she wanted power over her psychotherapy. She said, I want my life back. And, you know, if Louisiana wasn't so fond of elevating the hot mess brigade every time one of them turns up, I would find this pathetic. Now I just find it amusing. And if you're worried, keep an eye on headline news, and you'll see what is going to happen with the conservatorship of Britney Spears. IQ of a turnip, and she wants to control $50 million. Yeah. We'll have more on Exiles TV in just a moment. Stick around.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. I'm Bill Profita. Kevin Gallagher is recuperating from his treatment for cancer. He is doing quite well. We expect to see him back with us in 2 or 3 weeks. In the meantime, yesterday there was a little confab at the White House. BRPD Chief Murphy Paul was one of 7 public officials invited to visit with the president to talk about high crime areas and crime fighting initiatives. During that meeting, the president announced that East Baton Rouge Parish is one of 15 jurisdictions that is going to receive funding for anti-violence programs. Now, this is a good thing, but you have to have perspective here. The only reason that we were at that meeting, at that table, the only reason we're getting this grant is because we are in the top 15 of the worst crime areas in the nation. That's why the invitation was given. That's why the money is being given. The plan would allow our local government to use $350 billion, or our portion of $350 billion in COVID relief money for public safety efforts. Could add more police officers. We could even go beyond the pre-COVID levels. According to the president, more police officers, more nurses, more counselors, more social workers, more violence interrupters to help resolve issues before they escalate. So what we are now going to have is more money coming in that we can use to fight crime. I don't see any strings attached. But I also don't see any hard directives. I don't know where the best use of this money is. But I was told yesterday that it's hard to get more cops when nobody wants to be a policeman in this environment. I was told that you could try to recruit all the young men and young women you want to be police officers. And if they don't want to be police officers here and now, that money's going to sit gathering interest or gathering dust. As far as the other parts of the program, I understand that it's early yet, but it seems it's a little slim on details. We all know we want to get illegal guns off the streets. We all know that we want to keep guns out of the hands of teenagers who are out there committing crimes with them. We know that. But nothing in this says, and I'm going to have an ATF, FBI task force that will work with you and get federal warrants to help you clean this up. That's not in there. Now, please don't misunderstand what I'm saying and don't misunderstand my intent. I am certainly not poo-pooing anybody's efforts to try to do something about the violent crime in our area. I am not doing that at all. But what I am saying is there more? Where's the beef? Can we have a little more? Can we have a little more direction? And can we have some benchmarks that your people in the Department of Justice feel we should be able to achieve if we are using this money correctly? Hopefully that will be forthcoming. By the way, one of the things that was talked about was our murder rate. According to Parish Coroner Bo Clark, as of the beginning of June, we have had 80 homicides. In June of 2020, which was a record-setting year, if you look at all 365 days, we only had 56 homicides. And I am told that the number of shots fired is rising exponentially. I was told that at that shooting incident in front of the bar on Florida Boulevard over the weekend, that officers recovered 76 shell casings from that scene. Many of them, by the way, from rifles, not just handguns. And so not only are we seeing a significant amount of people that get killed, but we are seeing a big increase in the amount of people who are injured in these street incidents. And of course, our domestic violence homicide is up. I don't know how this is going to be classified, but there was one at Nicholson and Gardere where a long simmering feud, according to the news media, between two male roommates ended up with one shooting the other and killing him and wounding his girlfriend. I don't know if that's a domestic violence homicide or not, but it's still another homicide in East Baton Rouge Parish. So I want to hear more about this. And I do appreciate the money, Mr. President. I think we all do. But what got us there to get this money is something that we should all be very, very anxious about and very, very disturbed about. You didn't go to that meeting unless you had one of the highest crime per capita regions in the country. Let that sink in. DA Hillar Moore joins us next on Exiles TV. All right, Mr. Moore.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
This is State Treasurer John Schroeder urging you to check your mailbox. We just mailed out $4.5 million of unclaimed property checks to people across Louisiana. Unclaimed property is lost money turned over to the Department of Treasury so we can return it to you. The process is so easy, you can claim it right from your phone. Check for yourself, check for your family, and don't forget to check your businesses. This is your money. Claim it. Check your mailbox. And cash your check. It's that easy.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruge Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruge Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
The selection is deep, and the time to get a used car is right now from the Team Automotive Group. Shop and save on over 125 certified vehicles and choose from more than 700 pre-owned vehicles at any of our team locations. Or log on anytime at teamautouse.com.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. So glad that you are with us this afternoon. A reminder, if you can't watch the whole show or you know a friend that is working and can't see it, replay 10 o'clock tonight on this very same channel. And we appreciate your passing the word to your friends and your loved ones about our program. Joining me, Hillar Moore, District Attorney for the 19th JDC, which is East Baton Rouge Parish. I had to ask, because it's courteous, but I knew the answer when I said, how are you? You said busy.
Yeah, it's been busy. It's we've just had summertime, triple summers back to back with COVID. Kind of how it feels. But first of all, I wanted to wish Kevin well.
Thank you.
We've been texting each other sometime, and really good spirits, and it looks like he's on the way for full recovery. So I want to wish him well, and everyone's prayers for him.
Well, thank you, and he thanks everybody who has been praying for him. Tell you what, he's holding up pretty well for this. And that old body can take a lot of abuse.
He's a survivor. He's a tough man.
So we are seeing, again, a big spike in firearms incidents. But we're also seeing them now migrating into areas that had considered themselves relatively immune from gunplay on the streets. We're seeing, what do we have, 5 and 70808 in a period of 2 weeks, something like that?
I think you have to be cautious by focusing maybe on them, although it has recently caught the attention of a lot of people. But the attention really has to be parish-wide. And those are really kind of outlier instances. So you're looking at the location where it is, which we do because overwhelming majority of our killings are just heavily concentrated in locations, but also heavily concentrated by people. So it's the same people that kill each other at the same places. But however, sometimes their beefs, which they're all about, they go elsewhere. And you've seen that in some of these other cases, and that's what's happening. It's still the same core of groups or gangs or drug dealers that are feuding with each other and our families, and they take it to where that person is, and that's where the retaliation occurs. All of these shootings and all these murders are clearly retaliation. I say all, overwhelming number of them are. So which is a good problem to have, so to speak, that if people were just killing each other without a reason, or we couldn't really focus on where to go. So since they are such highly concentrated, now you know where to focus and concentrate, if that makes sense.
No, it does. I mean, it's a lot better if you have an idea of what the cause is and where to look. But the problem we've got is the weaponry has been upgraded yet again, and we're getting collateral damage. Now,
no doubt.
Those two guys at Fairway View, obviously that was a hit. But that little girl basically got killed in the crossfire.
Yeah, so without doing any facts on that case, surely the lovely 1-year-old girl who had met before and involving another matter with the family, and waiting to really meet her family and her grandparents. A good child, great family, had nothing whatsoever to do, and was unfortunately collateral damage, and that just can't happen. That has really outraged people, and it's also engaged people, which is good, that you want people involved, and you see the business community becoming engaged, and we want to see that. We'd like to see that type of effort and that type of outcry on every case, and unfortunately we don't get that.
Now, I know this is not under your jurisdiction, but I know you keep informed. Are we adding more cameras and shot spotters because we have this kind of spread of traveling violence? Are we getting more of those online?
No, but we want to, and we need to, but that's not cheap stuff.
Yeah,
so
I
when we
know.
talk about shot spotter coverage, you're talking around $16,000 to buy that, and for 1 square mile. It's a lot of money. So you need to have the money to get that done, and we just don't always have that money. So maybe now with some business involvement, maybe we can expand some shot spotter coverage. Maybe we can add cameras that we can link up to get live time feeds, or at least have access to that feed. And that's what our goal is. Like Manhattan, if you go through Manhattan, they're wealthy, obviously. You can't move in New York City or Manhattan without being on camera, which has helped to solve a lot of really big high-profile crimes there.
Yeah.
And we'd love to have that access to cameras here. We'd like to find a way with our security companies, can they offer homeowners a free camera front-facing to the street where they would give us access to that. And we could find the mode of travel that people were using shooting, and so that's something we're looking to expand. It takes money, it takes upkeep.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't just let them run. You have to have somebody that analyzes in real time when it's all happening, and helps you dispatch and things like that.
Well, just knowing that it's there and having access to it quickly is huge for us.
I am scratching my head a lot these days. I just don't know how you deter what is the vast majority of our violent crime. People that have an agenda that is not to basically live peacefully, but have an agenda to eliminate their competition, whether it's in the drug trade or for a turf area or over the affection of someone. I don't know what you can bring to the table that's an effective deterrent.
Yeah, it's a really big problem. Great question. The answer is not real simple.
No.
But I think that we have to really look at us, Baton Rouge as a community, and then also look at other communities across the nation. Again, we've talked about this before. Everything starts with the home. I can't keep emphasize that enough. I mean, because you have the law enforcement now, DAs, police, judges, trying to fix a problem that has occurred 20, 30 years ago, historically.
Multi-generational.
Problem forever, but now you want to say, Mr. Policeman, you're not doing your job, or DA, you're not doing a job, when we don't have a lot of cooperation for a lot of reasons. But I think we really need to go back in basics. It's the family, it's the neighborhood you live in, what kind of opportunities do you have in that neighborhood? It's education. And look, I'm really excited right now about Superintendent Cito Narcisse. We met with him multiple times, and it looks like he really has a really good plan for these kids who would normally have dropped out of school, but he's trying to keep them in. And can you get them not only just a high school degree, can you also get them certified that they could have a job upon leaving high school?
Yeah,
make
school and
$50,000.
Yeah.
It's huge. So I think education is a big part to it. We are trying to right now do a study with LSU to look at the 2019 homicides. So can we get a list of the victims and the defendants from 2019? 2020 wouldn't be a good year because of COVID for school. We want to know what is the highest level of education these kids, for the most part, attained. And I think we're going to find that it's probably 7th grade at the most and 9th grade. And then from there, can us, along with the school board, look to see where there's some gaps there, that we missed some opportunities to keep that kid in school so that maybe he wouldn't be in the position he's in to carry the gun. Where are those gaps that we can maybe fill to stop that? But that's a long-term goal, but I think we already know what the answer is. We want to show people this is a problem.
Let's talk about the actual weapons.
Okay.
I've been told by you and by former Chief Englade and by BRPD that these are not kids walking around with a Saturday Night Special in .22 caliber.
No, it's not like it used to be.
They are outgunning the police in a lot of ways, and they're getting their guns from people who behave stupidly, who leave them in unlocked cars out front of their house. I got a Ring camera photo from my neighborhood of someone pulling a door handle on a car, and in his other hand, just in case, he's got the Glock that he either just lifted or lifted at some particular point. How do we get the message out? Riverbend, I love Riverbend. I lived there for 11 years. They are officially the largest gun donor to crime in East Baton Rouge Parish. How do we get the message out? Or do we have to legislate it? Do we have to find somebody who will have the guts to sponsor a bill that says if you leave a weapon in your car unlocked and it's used in a crime, you are going to get charged? What do we do?
I'm not sure that we have an hour to answer your question, but I don't know if you've been in my office or bugged my office or not. But
no, I haven't bugged your office, I promise.
For the last several months, we've been planning this Lock Up Your Gun campaign. And in fact, we just yesterday sent out flyers to certain neighborhoods, one of which was Riverbend, and the other was Sherwood Forest. We have a really good relationship with the Sherwood Forest community there, and we want to develop it with others. But surely that's an issue. So first with the guns, our police outman our gun, they have big guns that these guys are using. It's not like it used to. And I know people want to demilitarize the police and not have them have big guns and things, but
not now.
Look, the guns that we see, they're big, and you don't know what you're running into. So we see big caliber rounds all the time. And so that is a problem. And the problem with that is not only they're trying to kill one person, they kill 2 and 3.
Yeah, because they're spraying.
These are cowards. They're shooting from far away. It's not man up to anyone. It's a cowardly act, and with a big weapon, and it leads to triple murders when they maybe were supposed to be one. So that's a significant issue. Leaving what is very scary is watching those Ring cameras or the cameras exactly as you said. We've seen it in many cases, opening up the car door with the hand in the pocket, or just found a car door that was open, have the gun in the hand, open up a car door, and if you're the homeowner, you come outside, and this has happened before, you get shot, you get in the killing, what do? Difficult situation all the way around. But if we're trying to do a campaign now, where's your gun? Lock up your gun at 9 o'clock. You're getting ready to go to bed, we're using 9 o'clock as the time. Where are your children? Where are your guns? Most people take the easy route and leave the gun in their car, which guns are allowed to be in your car, but it's just not safe because they're looking at that unlocked car, and you can see them in your video, and when they find it, that's what they're looking for, that gun, and maybe easy money. So we want to start that campaign to let everyone know, man, please know, you get ready to go to bedtime, know where your gun is, please lock it up. What kind of advice or trinkets can we give out? What kind of stickers can we have the people to remind them, lock up your gun? Probably not safe to put a sticker on the outside of your car saying, remind me to lock up a gun. That means you have a gun in your car.
Yeah.
How can we do that safely? So there needs to be a campaign for that. It's a huge problem.
See, I'm more into aversive conditioning. I go the Bill Engvall route. Here's your sign.
Well, we're going to have signs for polls, hopefully. But the legislation they've tried, it's just never passed here in Louisiana. It's called owner responsibility. That if you own a weapon, you are responsible for the weapon. I mean, look how many young kids we've had killed by unsecured weapons that have been left behind.
Yeah.
And there's not much you can do legally to that person. So
we're going to continue with DA Hillar more after this break. We'll be right back on Exiles TV. Stick around.
Ballelo's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Ballelo's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
The first big sale of the year is here. The Dream Garage Spring Event is underway at Team Honda. For the first time ever, get $12.50 customer cash on every new 21 Passport, or get 0% for 60 months on every new 21 Pilot at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
This is State Treasurer John Schroeder urging you to check your mailbox. We just mailed out $4.5 million of unclaimed property checks to people across Louisiana. Unclaimed property is lost money turned over to the Department of Treasury so we can return it to you. The process is so easy, you can claim it right from your phone. Check for yourself, check for your family, and don't forget to check your businesses. This is your money. Claim it. Check your mailbox. And cash your check. It's that easy.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Back to Exiles TV. Glad to have you along with us. Continuing our discussion with District Attorney Hillar Moore. And we're talking about guns that find their way into the hands of usually young criminals who use them for violent acts. They're not starting a collection. And the DA's office is getting together with everybody and trying to get a campaign to get people to lock up their guns.
Yeah, we're still working on that. So we want to continue to put some postcards out just to remind people, hey, this is really important. Get some other signage out in the communities. Can we get something to remind people simply as you're going out your car, oh yeah, let me grab my gun and make sure I put it inside and lock it up and secure it, because these weapons are used fairly quickly once they're taken out of your car. We, along with the ATF, particularly through the ATF, track the time to crime. How quickly is a gun used once it's stolen? And you would see it's fairly quick.
Yeah, we're not talking a month. We're talking days.
Just depends, but yes. Yeah. So look, by locking up your car, you could be saving someone's life, because these are the guns that we see. They're not guns bought from a store. They're generally not guns bought at a pawn shop or anything like that. It's guns that are stolen out of a car, and they're used and they're passed around, and they're used fairly quickly. And so also we'd like to see and encourage homeowners that if they have a weapon and they shoot it at a range, can you keep a shell? Because you save a shell, save a life. We'd like to know if your gun's stolen, can we at least have your shell to maybe track that to some kill?
Your striker makes a unique impression.
Not only that, but the shell ejection marks.
Yeah, and then the tooling marks on the ejector.
So it's very important for us for someone that has a gun that may eventually be stolen, to have that shell casing around. Very important for us.
Yeah. In fact, the last one I purchased, and this was 7-8 years ago, had a shell casing in an envelope with a note saying, hang on to this, we fired your weapon.
Correct.
You should have this in case your weapon ever gets stolen.
Did you purchase that gun in Louisiana or elsewhere?
I purchased it in Louisiana. I purchased it at Bass Pro, actually.
Because I believe the law here is you're not required to have a shell case for guns purchased here, but other states, you're required to come with a shell. We've also found shells that come with guns, maybe have not been fired from that weapon. So we've had issues with that.
Go ahead and fire one of your own. You'll know it's
at a
yours.
range.
Yeah, at a range, not in the sky on 4th of July, please. All right, we talked a little bit before you came on with us about the Biden administration, the money they're going to send. Baton Rouge is one of the areas that's getting money. But in addition to getting more police, more social workers, we're going to need more people in your office.
Well, sure, whatever you add, police or sheriffs or anything else like that, when there's more arrests, like I think per officer it's 300 arrests a year, so that means that we get 300 more cases. But I know that the police are down a large number of folks, but surely if you push in one direction, you have to really help the others as well. And it's not only DA, it's the public defender, judges, that whole nature, all of that have to change. But look, I am encouraged that Baton Rouge got the attention. Normally Orleans gets the attention, and they're having a rough time right now as well.
Yes, they are.
So are other cities in Louisiana. But I think through some of our legislative efforts and senators and representatives that Baton Rouge has been on the forefront. Unfortunately, for the reasons you mentioned in your earlier segment, that we have a lot of shots fired, we have a lot of non-fatals, we have a lot of shooting deaths. But Baton Rouge is recognized as having an issue, a homicide issue. And so now apparently the Biden administration has bit this, so now maybe they own the crime problem, so to speak. But and I think they're going in the right direction with the FBI and the ATF, focusing on those small groups of shooters. That's where our focus in Baton Rouge has always been, or should always be. We have to really throw more people, money, and attention at those very few that are causing all of the issues. It takes a lot of actionable intelligence. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. It's not quick stops on a street. It's long-term cases focusing on gun and gun violence. And it can be done. And I think you're going to see we're going to come out of this shadow or hangover from COVID. Don't know when that's going to be, but I think we will eventually get over this. But we need to focus. Right now, people are brave, and they're shooting folks during the daytime. And this is it is an issue here. We have to address and be honest and just hit it head on.
We're shooting at marked police units, and I have to wonder if that isn't somebody who is involved in a gang sending messages.
You know, that's scary.
It is scary.
Very, very scary.
Because you could have a real big gun battle with that happening.
That's very troubling for that. And if anyone ever has any information like that or about that, we would ask that they report that, because that could really cause a lot of issues here.
Do we have actual organized gangs in East Baton Rouge Parish?
So if you take the word organized out, yes. We have a lot of groups or gangs, depending on what you want to call it. They're not typically organized like you would the Bloods and the Crips, like you see in LA and New York, but which makes them harder to deal with because they're not organized.
They don't have a central command structure.
Absolutely. So an organized gang want to do what they do to make money and keep their gang going, but they don't want to get caught. So they're very cautious about what they do, right? And a gang that is a group of gangs like we have, they're not highly organized, not a hierarchy, and not someone that will punish them for doing wrong. In fact, they encourage them to do wrong and stay with the program, and we're going to take care of you. So yes, we have groups. We have groups that are now feuding with each other, and I think the overwhelming majority of the violence you see are directly related to those feuds and those beefs.
The current mayoral administration announced 10 days ago that they are bringing in a consultant who has been successful in Baltimore and putting interventionists on the street to teach them to make better life choices and to solve problems without becoming violent. And I have to ask, and I'm not trying to be a smartass, are we a little too far down the road right now with those who are pulling triggers for this?
Yes and no. Look, I applaud the effort to try everything you can try. If If it works, keep it. If it doesn't work, let's move on. But those interventionists, street workers, whatever you want to call them, it's just they're set up in different types of ways. Some get information from the police and give information back. Some do not. They just totally operate out there in the streets. It appears that these interventionists are ones that are just going to walk the neighborhoods of where they're from and try to reach out to people who are at risk and try to help them without getting information to and from the police. But I'm not positive about that. It could be. But let's see. You really need people that are interventionists that have been in groups and gangs, been incarcerated before, and people look at them and say, okay, I respect you because you were there, you were down, did bad things, but now you've come around and you're doing a great job. Pay for these people are not high, and you really need to get people who are legitimate in that sense, but you also have to pay them well because you don't want them walking both lines or blurring the line. So, look, I'm encouraged. We're going to try to see how it works out, and I'm wishing them the best on that.
Well, in addition to everything else, we also are still having a major league problem with opioid addiction, opioid sales on the streets, and opioid overdose deaths.
Yes.
The numbers are not turning the corner, are they?
No, just the last month or so, maybe seen a little bit of a decline, but I think every month has been a little higher than the year before. So hopefully there'll be some type of decline as we come out of COVID, but we're still in that hangover period right now. And my hat's off to people that have beat that addiction. It's a tough addiction. And if you ever known someone who's been addicted to that heroin or any kind of addiction, there's a book called What Addicts Know. And if you ever read that book, these people are highly driven, highly motivated, and skilled because they work a full-time job oftentimes, but they're a heroin addict. They have to get heroin and buy it, which is illegal. They have to go in neighborhoods where maybe they shouldn't be and survive, and they do all of that without anyone knowing. If they're ever able to move their addiction to something that's positive, these folks are unbeatable.
Well, I have to wonder, how much this new breed of opioid addicts feeds into the economy of the gangs that we have that are pulling triggers for retaliation and retribution. That this has got to be part of the same cycle, because they're not buying fentanyl heroin mixes, at Sherwood Forest and Coursey Boulevard in the middle of the day. This has got to be part of the economy.
So let me tell you one thing that's been kind of different for me is that back in the day when 20, 30, 40 years ago when heroin, you get life imprisonment, you had one heroin dealer in the city, right? Now everyone is a heroin fentanyl dealer. They all dabble in it, which makes it much more difficult. So that is a problem for us. Everyone that we see with drugs, they're heroin, fentanyl, and they have fentanyl pill presses now. Oh yeah. So it's not just as it used to be, and it's easy to get and it's cheap.
Cheaper than marijuana, I understand.
Which makes it very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And you don't know the dosage that you're getting, which leads to overdose deaths. Look, there are a lot of really good, nice folks out here that are just addicted to this and are on the street and can't find their way out because that heroin just has them hooked in the brain.
It's bad. It's
tough.
very, very bad. Kevin, we were talking about him, he had to have radiation in his throat, folks, which leaves you with a lot of pain. He didn't want to take the pain pills. Not because he's ever had a problem, but because he worries that it could give him a problem.
Within a week.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it happens, and we have a lot of people who have legitimately been hooked on that because of injuries, or like Kevin's.
Illnesses,
and
surgeries.
You have to be extremely careful of how you take those medicines.
Well, Hillar Moore, it's always enlightening to have you with us, and I don't think people say it enough, but we appreciate the work that you and all of your staff do.
We have a lot of good people to work with.
You certainly do, and we will see you again on this show.
Appreciate it.
For sure.
Hope Kevin's back.
Yeah, he'll be back. We'll be back to wrap up Exiles TV in a moment. Stick around. All righty.
Caught spiders?
Premier Pest Services.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Rouge Jr., and I am a general dentist at Rouge Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. Our thank you to District Attorney Hillar Moore for spending a half hour or so with us talking about guns and crime in East Baton Rouge Parish and what can or can't be done, and hopefully some of this federal money and some federal intervention, ATF, FBI, in terms of these illegal weapons might start to become effective for us sometime soon. After the recent floods, those that occurred in the middle of May, and then the spotty floods that we had just a week and a half ago, a lot of places are talking about moratoriums on new development. There are a lot of places in Ascension Parish, in Gonzales, and in Prairieville, where they think the new development has messed up basically the drainage in the floodplain, or that the drainage system can't handle new development. They have put a moratorium into place. In Iberville Parish, they have put a moratorium on new development into place. I don't know if they did in Lafayette Parish or not. I know that they are talking about it in Plaquemines Parish, which also gets this program. But yesterday, the East Baton Rouge Parish Metro Council spent a pretty good amount of time of their regular council meeting talking about the possibility of a moratorium on new development in East Baton Rouge Parish. People are somewhat divided on it at the council level. If you are in a neighborhood that's flooded in 2016 and you did all the remediation you were supposed to do, and it flooded again 2.5 weeks ago, you have got a lot of questions. A lot of people that I have seen in news coverage or talked to in person have had their homes or their offices flooded, and they are pointing to a building or a group of buildings that wasn't there 3 years ago, a new development. I don't know how much that contributes to flooding, but I will tell you, when you've got more steel and concrete and less grass, and you haven't changed the contour of the drainage ditches, you haven't changed the caliber, the size of your stormwater system sewers, you haven't checked the level of all the tributaries that feed into the big drain. People in Baton Rouge, things like Ward's Creek and Bayou Fountain and Bayou de Planche and We have, I think Gerald Gissel told me, 700 miles of small waterways that are actually part of our stormwater drainage system in East Baton Rouge Parish. You know, you see on TV what's the level of the A-meet and the co-meet, and they're always giving you levels in Livingston Parish. Not everything we've got drains into the A-meet and the co-meet. A lot of it does. But they really ought to look at things like Bayou Fountain, which is a good long run, largely following Highland Road from the LSU area all the way out to past Segan and beyond. And that water level, which got to flood depth along Highland Road on the 18th of May, has only dropped about 7 inches. Why? It feeds into Ward's Creek, and Ward's Creek can't drain. We have a serious, serious problem with this. So as far as a moratorium, there are some council members who said they would look at a moratorium for specific parts of the city parish, i.e. those that are experiencing flooding in excess or equal to what they experienced in 2016, where they can demonstrate there is new development. I think that makes sense. But there are a lot of people that say the moratorium is not going to make it all go away. You have to rebuild the sewer and drainage system. And that's the problem. That is the problem. So the council on this one, I normally get on their case when they defer, when they punt. But I think they were wise that they kept the discussion open and didn't introduce any motions on a moratorium, either pro or con, at last night's meeting, so that they can have some time to gather more information. Now, this also dovetails with the fact that last week we put about $30 million in emergency drainage work in East Baton Rouge Parish. I don't want to see homes not being built. I don't want to see office buildings not being built. This is an important part of our economy. I get that. But at the same time, if you're going to declare a moratorium without first actually looking at every mile of our stormwater drainage system, all you're doing is creating an independence and an impediment to economics as opposed to really addressing the problem. And I think the people on our council were wise enough to sense that last night when they said, wait a minute, we need a whole lot more information. And as Councilman Dwight Hudson, by the way, I happen to be sitting in Dwight Hudson's district right now, he said a moratorium would not do any good until and unless we catch up on inspecting and upgrading drainage facilities and drainage maintenance. And that is the crux of the problem. Now, I know everybody was running around like their hair was on fire in Lafayette, in Baton Rouge, in Ascension Parish, in St. John the Baptist Parish, where they had flooding problems. I know in St. James Parish, they were doing it in Livingston Parish. They were doing it in Jefferson. They were doing it in Lower Jefferson. They were doing it in Plaquemines Parish. Everybody was running around with their head on fire when the weather forecast said, we are going to get 6 or 7 days of heavy rain. And then when this tropical storm was on the radar, they were all out there with backhoes. People were working shovels. People were cleaning out ditches. Has it occurred to everybody, and please be grateful that they were out there doing that in advance of that tropical storm. Has it occurred that that is something you don't see the other 300 days a year? That you could probably drive your normal routes in East Baton Rouge Parish, in Livingston Parish, in Ascension Parish, in December and not see people out there with a road crew and backhoes doing maintenance? Hell, we had reports in Baton Rouge, not far from where I'm sitting, in Jefferson Place, where a bunch of neighbors got together with their chainsaws and their shovels, and they decided to do it themselves because it was taking too long to get scheduled by the city parish. And they were out there cutting trees and limbs and removing debris. We have to do something. But just saying we won't build any more stuff is not going to get it. More on this for all of our viewing area as it becomes available. Hey, I want to thank you all for joining me today. Again, thanks to Hillar Moore for being our guest. I want you to stay dry, stay safe, and stay cool. And we'll see you next time on Exiles TV.